guys, welcome to another daily watches video. Let's quickly dive into the charts because the charts are moving and we can get some really nice entries for the end of this week. So first of all, we got the euro dollar. Like I already said yesterday in my long video, is that the overall trend was still bullish. So we broke the supply in here, we create another higher high, and for now mainly what I will be watching is for a further pullback. Currently we already have some kind of minor demand in here because we broke this supply, but overall I will be watching this lower zone in here and mainly this one all the way in there. So for now I'm expecting a little bit more of a pullback, but if we might make reverse from here, that's mainly because we have a minor zone in here. But like I said, I'm expecting this low to be broken and visit back until this lower areas in there. Now that said, moving over to the GBPUSD dollar. And what we can see on the GBPUSD dollar is mainly that we just continue that downward trend. Like I already said, GBPUSD dollar is currently bearish, and I'm expecting a little bit more of a pullback than this. So I'm expecting price at least to go until this demand below in there. This is still a fresh day, fresh 4-hour demand, and hopefully we can also just break these lows in here and visit back until the stronger daily plus weekly demand below in there. So mainly I will continue to be bearish on a GU. That said, moving over to AUDUSD dollar, and regarding AUDUSD dollar, we got a very ugly spike. Basically it broke through a demand below in there and it touched into old demand in here. So we took out the low in there. Yes, we took out the low in there and we visited back in our old demand we laid out in there. So currently, like I already said, on the bigger time frames, we still have bigger weekly demand in there, mainly because we are still in the range. However, for now, because we broke this demand, we created our supply, and I'm expecting price to go a little bit further down to at least fill this gap, fill this wick in here, and visit back until demand around these lows in there. So that's mainly what I will be watching for AUDUSD dollar for now. Now, going over to NZDUSD dollar. And regarding the NZDUSD dollar, I'm also expecting a similar scenario, expecting it to drop a little bit more, drop back into demand in there. So we already took out this one, visited back into the bigger demand below in there. And yeah, mainly what you usually would see is that wicks like this will be filled, and probably NZDUSD dollar can drop even a little bit further, like take out the lows and also this low again, and drop further back into demand below in there. So mainly that's what I will be watching for the NZDUSD dollar for now. Of course, it's very ugly, but mainly, yeah, hopefully we will be bearish, and because most of the time wicks like this will always be filled. And that said, moving over to gold now. NZDUSD dollar first. What we can see on the NZDUSD dollar right now. Now moving over to gold, and what we can see on gold real quick, that is that we visited back into demand. I was expecting price to come in here. I didn't take any entry, of course, just waiting for it, but overall we got this bigger demand in there. Like this usually supply and demand, right? Like this one was still the most fresh, but since we had this huge drop, a lot of liquidity in here, price visited back into the lower end of the demand. For now, I'm also expecting a little bit more of a pullback to the downside. Now if you go to the 15-minute on the gold chart, now what we can see is that we had a change of characters in here. So these lows being broken, price taking out, visiting back into newly created supply in here. And mainly what I'll be watching is price to going back to these lows, probably visiting back until this 15-minute supply in there. And if that doesn't happen, if we might break this high, then we could visit back until the highs, probably go back in this range. But usually price will fall back down, it will break this low, and it will go back to the area where the huge move came from, mainly to fill up more orders and hopefully bring us back to the upside later on. Like overall, the bigger time frames are still bullish, of course, so keep that in mind, but for now I will expect a little bit more of a downside. Now also going over the DXY, and for regarding the DXY, we can see we have a nice rally to the upside. But what I do keep in mind is that the 4-hour is still bearish. So 4-hour is currently still bearish, and we have these flip zones, we have them in here. So mainly we had one in here and we have one in here, because this was the older demand zone, that one was taken out and we only have supply all the way up there. So that means that these zones become like flip zones. So for now, okay, we might get a pullback back from here, but seeing the other charts, I'm expecting a little bit more of a run to the upside, probably maybe until the end of this week or something. And yeah, hopefully bring all the other pairs to the downside, and then for the US dollar to continue tanking to the downside to yeah, basically just continue the downward trend until we reach demand below in there, because for now we already took out all the lows. At least in here we still have some demand in there, and that is currently pushing price up, but overall the demand is already weakened, so I'm expecting a little bit more of a downward move for DXY for now. And that's it. Going over to the Bitcoin. Now what we can see on the Bitcoin, we had a push up from the monthly demand we marked below in there. For now, I am also a little bit expecting a little bit more of an up move, visiting back into supply in there. Now if we go to the daily time frame, now what we can see that we don't really have anything, we don't really have a nice zone, but also this flip zone is also still valid, so this overall area in here acts currently as supply, and I'm still expecting this wick to be filled, so price at least falling back until all the demand, and hopefully also breaking this low and just falling a little bit further, especially since at least most of the financial market is currently falling, most of the stocks are currently falling heavily. I'm also expecting Bitcoin to at least follow it a little bit and break this low and fill this wick and things like that, so at least go back until like the 50k, hopefully even lower until like the 40k 45k level, something like that. So that's mainly what I'll be watching for the end of this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you again tomorrow. Ciao.